Hi everyone, and welcome to the first Take Action Academy Facebook Live event. Good to see that a few of you are already around. Now, the whole purpose of doing this with yourselves is to make sure that I'm sharing with you tips and advice and information. Morning, Steve, welcome in. To let you know exactly what's working right now with my clients, my business, and how we're growing and getting the results that we do. So we're going to do this every Thursday. The concept behind it is to make sure that you become more accountable. So you join me every Thursday. You can dip in and out. I mean, this is a free Facebook Live. We're not charging for this. So you're getting great value. So you can come and go as you need to. But I will say the more that you actually attend, the more that you're going to learn, the more you're going to get from it on a regular basis. Because this is going to be about accountability as well, which is something that lots of business owners struggle with, especially small businesses, because they don't have anyone to talk to. So I'm going to be the guy that you can talk to. I'm going to be the guy that's going to help you, give you some answers to the questions that you have, and really show you how we're working and what we're doing and what makes me different in terms of why do I get the results that I get. And I believe a lot of that is about understanding who my clients are that I'm after, and also the levels of action that I take, because I see on a regular basis people, let's look at it from a real point of view right now. What is February? It's February the 8th. January's done, dry January's gone, people have entered the gym. No doubt, Steve, you've seen a lot of this. People come flying in, have these goals, aspirations, lose weight, get fit, get stuff done. But actually, what happens to most of those goals? Most of them disappear and people give up. Now, this is quite a human trait and very hard to control. And if there's anything you want to understand about how your mind works, I really recommend that you read The Chimp Paradox, which gives us three brains that we're working on right now, which is our human brain, our chimp brain, and our computer brain, really, where we store. Now, they all work in different ways. And this whole process of actually trying to get yourself to a particular end goal can be very hard, because your chimp brain is always telling you, go to the fridge, get yourself a nice bar of chocolate and have some fun. And really, in your human brain, you've said to yourself, well, I'm going to lose weight, I'm going to get fit. But this overriding chimp just keeps coming back at you. Let's have some chocolate, let's sit on the sofa, let's take it easy, and we don't get stuff done. This is no different to how businesses work. And Steve, great to see that you feel that's a true comment. Now, where I want to start with this process is really where your clients sit and who your ideal clients are. Now, within the Digital Discovery group page, I have posted a workbook that I've put together on how to find your ideal client. Now, this is going to be crucial to starting this process of actually getting the right types of client into your business and the volumes of money that you seek. Now, the reason this is so important is because once you know your ideal client, this is going to drive everything that you do. It's going to drive your content. It's going to drive your advertising. It's going to drive the products and services that you offer. So if you don't know who your ideal client is and you're still going out there trying to find business, you're doing Facebook advertising, you're blogging, you're doing Instagram, you're doing videos, and Steve, you're doing some great videos, but let's make sure we can get those to engage more. One of the reasons I'm now doing Facebook Live is to share with you and keep in touch, and it's a great way of doing that without us leaving the room, wasting time, and time is money. I charge for projects and time, and depends what I'm involved in. So to actually get in the car, drive for an hour, do a meeting for 2 hours, and come back for another hour is quite a costly morning. For me, I value those 4 hours at £500. So how are we going to get around this? Well, you can do Facebook Lives, just like I'm doing with your audiences, your clients. Touch base with them, on this sort of basis of using Facebook. You can use Zoom. There's lots of ways. Go to meeting. There's lots of ways that you can engage. But there's no point engaging with anyone or doing anything until you know who you really want to be engaged with. So you've got the workbook. It's in the group page, and I recommend that you download that. If you haven't seen that and you haven't got it, you can direct mail message me. I'll send that on to you. But also, if you go to terrycarney.com and sign up on the homepage there, that guide will be sent straight out to you. Now, take a time to work through this guide, and I'm going to give you a quick overview in case you have got it or haven't got it of what we're trying to achieve here. So what we're looking to find out, and this is a process that you may be able to do from current clients that you have and look at the demographics and the type of people that are coming into your business and build it from there. Or it may be a complete case of it becoming a fictitious piece of work, but do have in mind where you think your ideal clients sit. And we're looking at age, Are they married? What gender? What do they earn? Where do they work? Type of job title that they may have? What do they read? Who do they follow? Who do they aspire to? Now, one of the reasons that part of the process is really important is that with Facebook, we can go down and hunt people like, say, Tony Robbins in the world of, doing better life coaching and actually meeting those aspirations of what you want to be as a human being. Massive leader, massive influencer, but we can target people who like his page. So if you've got an offering that's similar or has some synergy with Tony Robbins, then target the people that are on his page. But also then understand the locality of where you want those people to be. Because there's no point going worldwide if you can't service that type of audience. So look at where you want to be in terms of where are you working from, how far are you willing to travel. If you have an online business and can work with people across the space of what we're doing now, online, Facebook Live, Zoom, GoToMeeting, all the bits that I've mentioned, then great. It's a really productive way of working. Building membership sites, fantastic. But none of this is going to come together until you understand who you want to work with. And when it comes to understanding ideal clients, you can actually start to segment those ideal clients down into very specific groups. So if you've got a certain product, service that's applicable to, say, an age group of 30 to 50, then you can actually start to target that age group very specifically. Laser focused, really get into the people that you want. There's no point offering services and products to people who are never going to buy them. There's things that me as a guy in my age and the things that I do, I'm never going to buy. So I don't show any interest. So don't target me. Don't waste your Facebook money. Don't waste your time producing your content and doing your social media. And it's not going to be applicable to me. So this is going to make you also more productive in your business. So you're going to understand who your ideal client is. You're going to understand the type of content you want to produce, where you're going to do your advertising, and you're going to laser focus it into those particular people. Now, you do this, you're going to see better results. So, Steve, for someone like yourself, obviously you've got to look at the geography and you've got to look at some of the age groups and demographics of who wants to work with you, Steve. So, right now, you might want to pitch in at guys that are 40 to 50 that want to lose that beer belly, that want to get fit again. There might be those mums that have just had a baby and you want to get them in and get them trim and back in shape and feeling healthy. So it's who you want to go for. And those pieces of data are out there and within Facebook, and you can do some really good targeting. But until you know who you're going to target, there's no point just pumping content out, doing advertising, trying to engage with people who are not interested. Because actually what will happen is that your content, your social media will just be overlooked and they will move on to someone who hits the nail on the head and gives them what they want and what they're looking for. So this is why ideal clients are really, really important. So if you haven't got the workbook, go and find the workbook. As I say, it's at terrycarney.com. It's on the Facebook group page. I've loaded it there. I'll load it again later on after this so you can grab a copy. And the big thing I want you to do, and going back to the accountability of what I want this group to be, as it says in the top corner here, it's Take Action Academy. This is all about taking action and taking action on a regular basis to make differences to what you're doing. If you take regular action and you take more action than your competitors and others, you'll get better results and you'll see more from what you're doing. So this is a real process of actually getting down and doing. And each week I want you to be accountable. So what we're discussing now, the ideal client and the worksheet, I want you to work on. I want you to be able to come back to me next week and say that I've worked on it, I understand it. During the course of the next week, if you don't understand it and you've got problems and you want help with that particular process, drop me an email. Drop me a comment into the Facebook group page and I'll work through it with you, because it can be a challenging process. I have put a section of what I call the helping hand in there, which is there to help you through the process. And I've given you an example, so you should be able to get it. And the big thing that I recommend is that you don't try and do this in one hit. You actually work through it, put it to one side, come back a couple of days later. But what I'd really like the people that are listening to this right now and watching to do is to take that guide, work on it, and come back next week understanding more about your ideal client. Once we've got that phase of the ideal client understood, I want to talk about how we can target and get to those people and really start to get you more business, more clients, more money into your business. So that's what we want us to really focus on and start becoming accountable for within the next week. Now, look at who you're currently working with. Look at the monies that you're charging. Look at the challenges that you have. And within that particular process of the ideal client, you'll actually see within there are pain points to talk about. And I'm talking about your client's pain points. I'm not talking about your pain points. It's your clients. Because anyone that's out there is actually not buying a product or service, they're actually buying a state change. So if I'm overweight, not feeling good, the state that I want is to be, not so heavy, slighter weight, fitter, enjoy my life more, eat better. So what we've got to do is take that person from a state change, from being where they don't want to be to where they want to be. And that's what you've got to work on. That's what you're selling. And you sell that through good stories, showing people how you've achieved that in the past, using good content, making sure that you're doing plenty of videos. For me, video is the way forward. It's very engaging. As I shared in my last Facebook Live, there's going to be big changes within Facebook, and Facebook Live and group work is really going to be beneficial for you as a smaller business. And if you ignore those elements, you are going to miss out. So it's about becoming accountable. It's about getting the work done. In real terms, and Steve, I'm just catching up with comments, because as I sit here doing a Facebook Live, I've got things pinging around me, and I'm seeing Steve there saying the state change is really good. Steve, it's such an important process, for yourself. People come to you. You've seen this, they're not particularly happy. They're not in a good place. They want to be moved to somewhere, and you're the guy that can move them. You're the removal guy. Remove the bad, remove what they're not happy with, and give them the good stuff. Just like going into a nice new home with new furniture, a new change. It creates a state change, and that is so important. So one of the big things to focus on, Steve, with your particular marketing and angle, is start to explain that whole state change. Losing weight, becoming fit doesn't happen overnight. So for yourself, it's explaining that process and where it gets to. And I've seen that regularly you're posting a guy that you're working with, and I'm seeing him change, which is brilliant. His state is changing. He's becoming fitter. He's looking better. And that is a great process that you're doing there. But this whole state change refers to anyone that's out there right now, whether you're a solicitor or a fitness coach. At the end of the day, someone wants to go from one area. If you look at a solicitor, I've got a legal issue, I can't handle it, I'm not sleeping at night, I need to resolve it. What I need to do is move from that complete state of a challenge to actually, it's done, it's off my shoulders, and things are actually looking much better in my world. I can go off and be happy, content. That legal issue's done. And this is really important. So make sure that you're always looking at the before state and the after state. How do you take the person on the journey in between those two areas? So the before and the after, how do you get them together? How do you move them from one place to another? Really important, Steve. Start to think about that, and all the other business owners that are out there listening at the moment. Start to look at state change, because people have pain and people have challenges, and they want those solved. And it's your position, in a way, it's your responsibility. If you want to be good at what you do, it's your responsibility to take those people from one state to another state, and in the process, they pay you for doing it. Recently, I don't know who's on the email list and receiving my emails. There's one literally just gone out as we're sitting here, and they're things that I want to talk about. The timesing up of what you do. I feel I work to what we call the 10x rule. I do 10 times more than anyone else. More emails, more Facebook Lives, more networking, more blogs written, more email marketing. Because I increase that, what happens? My opportunities increase, my awareness increases. I'm everywhere. But I make sure that I'm doing this in the right spaces. Now, when we talk about ideal clients, lots of you guys are going to listen to me and you're going to gain information, and you're never going to be clients. You're probably not ideal in some respects, but I can help you. And the reason you're not ideal is that you don't fit the actual business size that I'm after. I know I want businesses between 500,000 to 5 million that have already got a sales funnel in place. It might be leaking, it doesn't work particularly well. They're selling their product or service, but they want to do it better, or they want more of it. It's my job to change that state. Not enough sales, or sales not going right, to more sales, business growth, and doing things correctly online. Lots of people still don't know how to control their websites, their social media, their content, their email marketing. That's where my expertise lies. But with you guys out there right now, some of you may become clients, some of you may be interested in other things that I do, come along to events, things that I speak at, might buy a product from me to help you, get your business to another place. But right now, the whole key effort behind this is doing more Facebook Lives than anyone else, getting more awareness, engaging with my audience, and that's where you guys have got to be doing that as well. So if you're a business owner and you're watching this right now, think about the processes that you're doing to get engagement, obviously with the ideal client, because that's so important to me, and that's the process we're talking about today, and how you're going to do more of it, because actually to increase your business, is not that hard. It just means you've got to do more effort. You know, I'm sitting here, I was back up at 6 o'clock this morning. I was up till 10 past 12 last night finishing off the email that's gone out at 8 o'clock this morning while I'm sitting here doing this Facebook Live. That's just connected with another 2,000 people. And I'm seeing differences. You know, I've really increased it. Probably I was working at, say, 5x last year. I'm now at 10. I'm 10. I've doubled up my efforts of what I'm doing. I'm doing more than ever. And what happened yesterday? An inquiry through my website from a company in America. Hasn't happened for a long time. In the States, quite nice to get some interest there. Obviously, something I'm doing has hit those particular guys, has landed in front of them, or someone's recommended it. See, this is the other big thing, that too many people want instant results. And it's not always about the ideal client that you may be targeting. It might be about the ideal client that you don't know, who's also friends with an ideal client who passes information on, and all of a sudden you're into a different game, and you're into a different state change. You know, you're wanting business, you're wanting business, and all of a sudden you've got that business, but it's driven by what you do. So these are things that we're going to talk about as the weeks progress. You know, how can you get from that, 1x level that many people work at to a 10x level and do much, much more of what you should be doing more constructively and getting better results on a regular basis. When you do this stuff, it will change what you're doing in terms of the results that you get, the more clients that you meet. You will meet more clients, and you've got to move on and do these things because it's so important. So focus on those ideal clients, start to understand who you want to target, and start to segment. Our client, Triangle Nursery, has different areas. They understand. Let's look at, just say, the bridal market. I was going to say they understand their clients overall, but let's look at one specific area, which is actually the bridal market. We understand that there's different age groups and different people that are going to buy flowers from the business. Now we're segmenting that down slowly, and we're targeting those people much better. What a bride of 25 to 30 might buy is very different to what a bride of 35 to 50 might buy who's on a second marriage. It's very different. So we've got to understand those people. We talk to them in a certain way. We show them information that we want them to see. We take them to landing pages that are going to help them. So it's a very different process, but we know who we're talking to. We know how to talk to them. We know what content to put in front of them. We know what interests them, because they're ideal clients. And we've worked on the avatar, because this is what you're producing. And if you don't understand the avatar process, a customer avatar is your ideal client, is your complete demographic of person, who they are, gender, what they do, occupation, salaries, challenges that they have, pain points, who they follow. That's what you're building, is an avatar. So we might be talking ideal clients, but if someone puts in front of you, or you read something about customer avatars, that's what you're building. Build your customer avatar. Once you've got it, look at it every day. Start to understand who that person is. Make sure that the content you're going to put out there, the way that you engage with them, is going to be right. Okay, so really important. What I want anyone to do that's watching this right now is to engage in that over the next week, and make sure you start to understand your client avatar, your ideal client, and where they are and how we're going to get to them. Once we start to understand that, I want to share with you how the best ways are to actually target those ideal clients and work with them, because if you don't have a sales funnel process right now, you're really missing out. And this is really important, because our process is to draw people to the website, to get them to sign up for the ideal client PDF brochure that I've produced, and from there nurture them and help them. Make sure that if they've downloaded it, are they understanding it? What's your challenges? Tell us about you, because if I do that process, I can slowly see that, is this the right person for me? Where do I want to take them next? Steve, glad you're enjoying the content. You're really with me today, and I'm loving that. And you deserve success, Steve, and there's lots you're going to learn from this, because you're doing lots of good stuff. But I think we can take it to that 10x level, so we can do more of it. We could get it in much better quantity in terms of what we're going to do in a plan, the strategy that you've got, the videos that you do. Facebook Live, Steve, I think we've got to progress that area for you. You've got to start to think about that, and you could do some really good catch-ups and share with a bigger audience around you. And again, localized. Reason I say localized, as I shared the other week in my Facebook Live post about the algorithm changes, local content and how you work with people that are in your local area is going to be really important to how the algorithm works. So look at that process. So Steve, there's a real good opportunity to sit here very much like I am today, talk to that local audience about those state changes, get to where people are in their pain and their challenges, make sure that they know how we could take them from this challenge they might have, being overweight, just had a baby, not fit, want to get back to it. So, Steve, it can really work for you. So one of the things I want you to think about is once you've built that client avatar and you're understanding who you want to target and segment them down. We don't have to have just one avatar. I want to make that really clear for everyone that's watching. You don't create just one avatar. You can have several avatar profiles within what you're doing within your business to hit with different products, different services. So don't just come up with one avatar. That will limit you and actually stop you getting more clients and more sales. So start to look at the different levels of your avatars, age groups, what their pains are, their challenges, who they may follow, and start to target them effectively, because that will help you achieve the goals that you have. Now, the word goals, I'm not a big fan of, because very few people actually attain the goals that they have and stick to actually the focus of achieving the goals. Again, it goes back to very much this chimp paradox, and we get all excited, and our human brain says to us, you need to go out there and get more business, we need to be better at what we're doing. But then the chimp says to us, well, let's look at Facebook for the next half hour and some videos that have no real value, and suddenly we've gone from the line that I call, above it is attraction, so suddenly we go to distraction, and we're distracted. And if you start to have a timer on your desk, I do this regularly, hit the timer when you go to the toilet, when you make a cup of tea, when you're looking at Facebook that isn't to do with the business, just for your general consumption. And actually, at the end of the day, look at how many hours you've worked. When I first started that process many years ago, I found out that I was probably working 2 hours a day, and the rest of the time was either at the water cooler, there weren't so much social media when I started to do some of this, but suddenly you realise that an 8-hour day actually turns into 2 hours of productivity. What I do right now, I'm probably losing an hour a day in real terms of time that doesn't really either generate me money, work on a client need. So yeah, very, very much no downtime these days. And the reason that I've really pushed it from the 5x to the 10x is that I constantly work on this whole process of not falling into the traps of distraction, wasted time, because it is about productivity. And one of the biggest grinds I have, actually, that I see in lots of groups, and I constantly see from people, is that we don't have enough time. You have shed loads of time. It's just that you don't know how to work with it. And it's not about the old cliche of time management. It's actually understanding how to work with time and how much more you've got. And again, the old chimp brain does come in, and you get home and it says, let's sit down and watch Game of Thrones, and you sit there and you can get it on Netflix, Amazon, wherever it is. I'm not a big fan. I've never watched it, and I keep my TV time real minimal, because actually it's not the cost of the TV that you've bought that actually sucks the money out of your pocket. It's actually the time you spend watching it when you should be working on your business. So when people say they have no time, it's very easy to generate one whole day every week of marketing on your business. How do you do that? Well, you get home and at 6 o'clock, I know sometimes we have family, some of you have young kids, you want to have tea, that's brilliant, do that part, get them to bed, and then say to yourself, actually between 8 and 10, for the next few months, I'm going to work on the business. Because if you do that every day, that's 2 hours. Across a week, that's 10 hours. That's, for me, an average working day. I work a lot more hours, and that's not because I'm not productive. It's because I've uplifted. As I say, I've really moved into this 10x phase of my life, which I'll probably do for the next 6 months to do dynamic change, and then we might drop it back a little bit. But right now, it's about getting lots done, and we're seeing results from that, and you can do the same. So that whole process, just doing a couple of hours on the business, whether you want to do it in the morning, get up early, 6 in the morning, 6 to 8, work on the business, then go off and do your working day. It will make a huge difference, because very few people spend time working on their businesses, doing the marketing, understanding stuff like we're talking about right now, the ideal client, how to find them, how to target them, and educating themselves on the best ways to actually market. And what's Facebook doing right now? How do I write good content? How do I create a landing page? Do I have pop-ups on that particular landing page? How do I create good, Google AdWords? How do I construct AdWords that give me a good quality score that get me lots of leads? Now, this stuff can all be learned, and it takes a long time. This is 10 years in the making of where I am right now. And it's why clients come to us, because they haven't got the time or the resources to do that. And people work with me so I can accelerate that with them and get them the results they want a lot quicker. For yourself, if you're in a phase of growing a business and you have the time, do that learning, because that's all that I've done. I've changed industry sectors massively. Had a print company, was stopped that back in 2007, but we grew that business from 4 to 9 million in 4 years. So I know I can grow a business. I know I can sell. But when I left that in 2007, suddenly the digital market emerged, things were changing. My clients, who were mainly wanting printed brochures, were suddenly talking about websites. Can you do a website, Terry? And at that point, I wasn't really particularly aware of them and taking too much notice. But as time went on, I realised that the web was going to be really important. I realised the dynamics of selling were going to change. I would get on the phone, I would call, but I'm going to be honest with you, cold calling's dead. What do? You do digital instead. So this is where I'm trying to get you to, is that a process of understanding your ideal clients, where you then engage with them and use digital effectively. And I'm not saying it's all about digital, because from that digital process, you need to move offline. This week, I've gone back into the process of networking. But again, I've looked for ideal networks, where people are going to be there that have got more worth, are in better positions within their businesses to make decisions, and probably connected to a higher level of individuals, because that's what I'm after. What did I find when I attended that network this week? I've had 3 leads from it, from one lunchtime network of just meeting some new people, never met before. I've gone back into London. I'm trying to build my personal brand in London more, so I'm focusing in that particular market at the moment, which comes with challenges, but it means that my team that work with me have worked on areas that they haven't done before, and that some of the tasks that I normally do, I've passed over. And in the coming weeks, I'm going to talk about the 80-20 rule, and also about understanding your value. So, yes, Steve, thank you for that. 3 leads, well done. Plus the one last night from America. So, this week, 4 leads. I'm sure I'll convert 2 of those. So that's more revenue into the business. So that's probably another, time I do the deals that I want to do, probably a 10% uplift in billable work in the next few weeks. So already we've moved that forward. So that shows you that it's totally possible when it's there and you can do it. But you have to do the work, and you have to understand this. And getting back to what I was talking about, the 80-20 rule, which in the coming weeks, probably around about week 3 or 4, we'll start to play with the 80-20 rule, and how that will actually work with you within your business, and is very important. If you want to go off and research that, please do, but I'll explain more as we go on. But one of the principles of the 80-20 rule is making sure that you look at tasks and you value them. So £10 tasks, I look at £100 tasks and £1,000 tasks. Those particular tasks, if it's a £10 task or a £100 task, I don't particularly want to be involved in it, because that's not where the money is for me. That doesn't mean that we're not going to do that task, but other people within my team do those tasks. They have responsibilities to certain levels. They're allowed to spend money without work as people we source with, or things that we have to buy, advertising, or what we do. They've got limits there, so I can let them work, and we understand the game. So if you're given a responsibility to spend £100 and you do it wrong, it's not the end of the world, because I've said to my team, go and spend that £100, and if it goes wrong, it's not a problem. That's what you have to do. Otherwise, you're going to hold on to every decision within your business. You're going to be trying to do everything, and it won't move forward. That is something I learned from Tim Ferriss. Again, goes back to this constant learning and reading. I posted recently on this particular page books that I'm reading. In January, I read 4 books done, out the way, the knowledge straight in there, the experiences I've had from those books, and actually the way that I've leveraged what I've learned to help my clients has gained immense value for me and them. It makes me more worthy. It's shocking when you look at the stats of who reads. Average person in the UK reads 1 or 2 books a year. The average CEO reads 68 books a year and attends 8 conferences. This is the other thing. You've got to increase your learning. And also, take the opportunity to go to conferences and try and be really quite clever. Go to conferences where you've got synergy with people, where there's some ideal-minded people. And also, there's usually some ideal opportunities within those particular crowds. So again, part of your process, make sure you're attending conferences, you're learning, you're getting connected with people that are ideal on many levels. Surround yourself with more ideal people. There is no point surrounding yourself with people who do not believe the same beliefs that you have, or have the same visions or goals or values. Some people obviously are never going to be aligned with us. It may be people that are very close to us, and we work around that. But in general, you will find that if you surround yourself with the right people, you will do better. You know, if I want to play better golf, I go out with golf professionals, scratch players, low handicap players, because that uplifts my game. If you're with people that don't play as well, you don't seem as committed. You don't seem to want to raise your value so well. So go and look at who you're surrounding yourself with. You know, Steve, go and find really good fitness motivators, people that are out in your marketplace. Go to their conferences, get in that environment, you know, get that buzz from them and start to work from them. See how they're working, because this is the other thing. People spend far too much time trying to create their own businesses and their own worlds, when actually there's a lot of information out there that will already help you. So model the guys that are successful. You know, I've had a few clients that specialise in losing weight, and they always refer back to Joe Wicks, you know, the lean guy. Now, this guy just smashed it, and the way that he smashed it was using Instagram and video. Now, he's taken himself to another level. What a great model. But I tell you what, he was probably working at, you know, the 20x level. That guy just went hell for leather all the time, you know, producing video content, creating recipes, books. I think he's written 5 or 6 books now. So this shows you that the commitment that you're going to have to do if you want really increased levels of success and working with the right people. So there's lots to take on board here. But what I'd like to do in the coming week, because we've just done half-hour session on this particular one, and I was going to do them as an hour, and some people were actually saying, well, 8 o'clock in the morning to 9 o'clock, not particularly the best time of day. Well, do you know what? There's never a good time for getting everyone to do what you want them to do and be involved. So for the ones that can be bothered to turn up at 8 o'clock and spend 45 minutes, I'm going to run it till 8:45, is there's going to be good stuff for you to learn from. The last 15 minutes I really want to use as a Q&A session, and in the coming weeks, I want you to think about what you're going to be doing in terms of looking at your ideal clients and coming back to me next week and commenting while we're doing these particular Facebook Lives and threads on how you're doing. Have you discovered, you know, your ideal clients? And then let's help you target those ideal clients. Right, Steve, I've just seen a comment come back in from, does writing a book, Terry, give you more clout? Without a shadow of a doubt. Let's get rid of the clout. Yes, you do have more clout when you've got a book. So I've got a book. I'll be totally honest with you. It's still in the making. It's 70% now. And part of my focus right now is to get that done by this summer, you know. And again, go back to the rules I was putting in place of the £10 rules, the £100 rules, the £1,000 rules, is that probably this is a £100 task right now. So it should have commitment from me, which it has. You know, it's 70% written, it's 70% there. But I need to get someone on board right now who's going to make me accountable, work with me on that particular project, and we get it nailed down. Because that £100 task that someone could get involved in, I believe, will actually put me into the level of the thousands of pounds worth of value, because a book does have lots of clout, Steve, without a shadow of a doubt. And even writing smaller content right now, you know, to commit to a book and get that written is more time, but it does come again at a point of really looking at your time and what you can do with it. So say those 2 or 3 hours that you can generate in the morning or in the evening, go and find those hours and decide that writing the book is going to be what you do. You know, you might have to put your marketing to one side, and this is where you've got to plan properly and understand your strategy for growing your business. What is it that's important to you right now? Do you need more clients right now, or can you sustain, you know, the money revenues that you need to come into your life to keep your life going? Can you sustain that right now? And are those people going to be working with you for the next 4 or 5 months? And, you know, that's pretty guaranteed. Well, then if that's the case, it might be good just to work through that at the moment. And I never like saying, let's take it easy and be complacent, because even though things are good, you should be working hard to get the next guys in. But if you could get through and you can write your book and dedicate some time to doing that, then do it. Excuse me, just have a mouthful of my tea. So, yes, Steve. Excuse me, writing that book, really important. And even just PDFs, like the one that I've written on your ideal client, that's all really good information that you should put together and share out there. Really easy to create a PDF like that. You know, work with canva.com, the system that we use, and write yourself a book, turn it into a PDF. Excuse me, a little frog in the throat here. That's one thing that I don't know if you've ever heard the phrase of, talking of frogs. It's, you know, start the day by eating that frog. So basically take the worst, nastiest thing that starts your day and you eat it. You get it out of the way. So eat that frog. Look it up online. You'll see a lot more about it. So Steve, definitely get that book written. Get some more PDFs written. If you're going to do Facebook Lives, email marketing, doing the videos that you're doing, you could send people to somewhere to download something that they could keep about yourself. So, look, I'm getting a little bit of a tickle in the throat. I'm going to disappear out because now we need to concentrate on the business. I want you to be back here next week. Excuse me. Same time, 8 o'clock in the morning, and we're going to work on your businesses with you. So I'm going to disappear for now. Post any questions you got into the comment section, and I'll see you next week. Bye.